Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It's time for Tidbit Tuesdays again. So, apparently, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. Who knew? So, let's talk about life insurance. Most people I find don't think about purchasing life insurance or do not have enough life insurance. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to worry about that now, I'll get it later. I can't afford anything right now. Well, the truth of the matter is, when you're younger, life insurance is much more inexpensive. And there's obviously different kinds of life insurance. You can do term life insurance that the rate expires after a certain period of time. Whole life, or even a permanent term policy, your rate is locked in for your whole life. There's universal life that builds a lot of value that you can use as a retirement tool later on. There's a lot of different choices. And of course, there's true final expense insurance, but there's a lot of policies that can accomplish that same thing. And again, the younger you get it, when you're young and healthy, the cheaper it is, because if you lock a rate in for your whole life, you will never pay more than that rate. So that's really a good way to make sure that you can afford life insurance even later on in life or something happens. And this is what happens to people is, one, they just don't think about it. Now they're 40 and they have two kids and a mortgage, and oh, guess what, they take these medications. Well, sometimes that increases the rate. Sometimes certain things knock you out of getting life insurance, which is terrible, because if you had gotten it younger, they're not going to kick you off because, you had some skin cancer or, some major surgeries or whatever. It's not going to knock you out of it. So it's really important to talk with someone about life insurance and get something in place to protect your family. Even if you don't have a family, this is the argument I get from a lot of young people. Well, I don't have a family. And I'm like, okay, great. Who's going to pay for your funeral? Because you're putting a burden on your family if you don't have some kind of policy. A young person can get a $25,000 policy for like $10 a month. And that could be a permanent policy, and you just pay your $10. It will always be 25,000. Hopefully inflation won't eat away at that too much if you don't die for 60 years, but it's going to help pay for your final expenses. And this is what young people don't think about, is that who is going to pay for the funeral? Everyone sees the GoFundMe pages. It actually kind of drives me a little crazy, because I feel like, gosh, if people had just planned a little bit, they wouldn't be putting this burden on their family. So I think it's super important to sit down and figure out what you can afford for life insurance, and your needs will change over time. So even if you get a small policy now that you have determined you're going to keep this policy as a final expense policy, then later on when you get married or have kids or have a mortgage, you can add additional policies to cover those things, because sometimes you don't need that full life insurance your whole life. You want to make sure your final expenses are taken care of. And if your debts are paid off when you retire and you own everything, you don't need a ton of life insurance unless you're just trying to leave a bunch of money to family members. And that's another conversation that we can have. I have a great tool, a life insurance calculator tool, that even if you have life insurance now, what I find is people don't have enough, because they think they have enough because, oh, I have $1 million policy. And this happened not too long ago, where there was a client that spouse died, two small children, stay-at-home mom. Her husband had $1 million life insurance policy, and they were in their late 30s. So mom thinks, okay, great, I'm a millionaire now. She wasn't happy her husband died, but she thought, oh, wow, I'm a millionaire. I'm set. I don't have to worry about anything. I can go buy that nice house on the lake for my kids. And we had to sit down and talk to her and say, okay, this money needs to last you. You don't work. Are you planning on getting a job? Are you planning on staying at home with your kids when they're little? Okay, well, we need to probably invest some of this money, because you're going to actually have to learn to live on less than what you currently. And she was so confused because it's like, well, I'm getting $1 million. Yes, well, your husband made about $85,000 a year. To make your money last, you're going to have to learn to live on $45,000 a year. It's a terrible conversation to have with a grieving spouse. So the life insurance calculator it's very easy. I have a link. If you don't see the link in this blog or my post, just go to my website and message me. You can send me an email, and I'm certainly happy to send you the link. What the link does, it asks what insurance you have now, what your needs are. Do you have kids? What is your salary? Do you want to pay for college? Do you have mortgage? And it just asks you some basic questions, and you plug in those things, and it will tell you how much life insurance you should have. Do we have to buy it all right now? No. But it's a really good planning tool to know, okay, if something were to happen to me, I need way more than $1 million. Some people may need less. Maybe they've overinsured themselves. There's no reason to do that either. So this tool is very helpful. Again, you'll talk to a licensed life insurance person once you utilize the tool. I'm happy to schedule a time with you if you don't have one, and discuss your options, get some quotes, and then take it from there. So remember, if you know someone that does not have life insurance, have them hop on over to my page. Until next week, peace out.